are live for We the Unruly. Welcome, everyone. If you're listening to the replay, welcome. I am excited to have my guest, Karen Anderson. This is actually the second time we have done a podcast together.
hmm
So, welcome, Karen. I would love to have you introduce who you are because you're one of my favorite unrulies. They're all my favorites. But you've been around since the beginning. So, introduce yourself, tell us what you're about, and then we'll hop into it.
So, Karen, my name is Karen.
You
Um,
have a last name.
Karen C.L. Anderson. And I do a lot of things. The thing that I've been saying lately that I do is that I help women identify and navigate internalized shame.
Such a
And
such a rich topic.
yeah, and it's like, the whole like, what do you do? What's your elevator speech? All that. But, I've come to this work through having a very difficult relationship with my mom.
Mm,
And, and doing a lot, I've written some books and I've coached a lot of people and worked on this, personally and with others, and have really just come to the realization that at the heart of it, or at the base of it, or at the whatever you want to call that, right, is a lot of internalized shame that was never ours to begin with.
mm-hmm. Do
and
you
and
feel
that
like that's an important topic right now? I'm teasing.
Yeah, I do.
You were,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really
You were
important.
saying, and right now,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Definitely. And it's funny too, because I find myself, going to networking things and talking about, what I do and all that kind of stuff. And on the one hand, there's fascination and also sort of like a push, like, no, no, I don't want to see that.
yeah,
And I like my mission, my goal, what I really want is for women especially, but everyone, to be able to identify when their shame stories are running the show, because we all carry it, I believe. I mean, maybe some people would say they don't. I kind of believe, let me put it this way. I think we are all physiologically
mm,
wired to experience shame.
yeah,
That might look different in different people. But anyway, um, and I think a lot of people are having experiences that they don't know are related to shame. And if they knew
mm-hmm,
that and had a different
mm,
relationship to shame and weren't afraid of shame, right? Because at this point, I don't think we can get rid of it, but I do think we
yeah.
can change our relationship to it so that it's not so impactful in ways that we don't like.
And well, running the show in ways that we don't like, and you know, tackling your shame stories, that's pretty fucking unruly, right?
I will never forget, I don't know, 2009, 10, 11, in that sort of time frame when Brene Brown started to, you know,
Mm, yeah.
be out there and have her TED Talks about shame and vulnerability. And I remember being like, oh, that's what's going on. I've got shame. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to like, and it's funny too, because I remember a few years later being at an event with people and saying out loud, like, yeah, I'm practicing feeling shame.
Awkward pause. I gotta, I want to tell you about an awkward situation, but finish up your
Well, and
thought.
I was just gonna say, only to find out that like I couldn't get rid of it. And
Yeah.
so that then led me into this other place, because I was like, oh, well, there must really be something wrong with me if I can't get rid of this shame. And if I'm gonna have
Mm,
this, you know, heavy black cloud over me all the time of shame, and I can't get rid of it, then I'm doomed. And lo and
doomed.
behold, I was not doomed.
What?
And I still carry shame.
Yeah. We talk a lot in the Unruly Collective about holding both, right?
Yeah.
And before we got on, before we went live, I've had both a shitty week and I've had an absolutely delightful, wonderful week. and holding the space for both to be true. And so what I love about what you model is this, sharing with others like bits of your shame that you carry and still have to work through. Yeah, you showed that, but I want to go into that. But holding that both can be true. You can have shame and it doesn't have to be doom. And life can be delightful and joyful, and life can be absolutely fucking lifey because, especially right now, right? With the world going on around us. And like I said, I love that you model that. So you showed us your shame box. I want to share that with us because I think it's such a wonderful, I'm about like visual reminders, right? And that's such a wonderful reminder for you.
Yeah, so it's just this like little cardboard box that it's like has tape on, like I peeled the tape off. It's not fancy, right? And it just says on there, it says box o' shame.
Box, oh shame.
And inside the box are, well, there's three little pieces of paper and a picture, but three little pieces of paper, and on each piece of paper is written one of my three core shame beliefs. I'm bad.
Mm, mm.
The other
Anyone
two
else
are,
feel that?
sometimes it's like I am so bad there's no coming back from how bad
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
I'm a selfish, spoiled brat,
Ooh, yeah.
and I'm a pathetic loser.
Ooh, that one
Yeah,
hits.
yeah.
That one
And
hits.
it's funny because there's a fourth one that I've actually been in grappling with, and I'm not fully through it, but it has to do with being a burden.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm-hmm.
So
That's a big one.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be a burden on anyone else.
And the thing
That
about
comes up for me.
Yeah. And the reason that I keep it in a box like this, right front and center most of the time, sometimes I put it in a drawer, but I keep it here to remind myself that it used to live in here unconsciously,
Mm,
or in here,
mm-hmm.
right? Both places actually. And
Yeah,
now I'm conscious, and now I can observe it outside of myself in this box.
yeah.
And um, I don't know if I'm repeating a story, whatever, who cares?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have
So
good stories.
this came out of putting it in a box came out of an experience I had where I was talking with a mentor, and I was talking about feeling like a pathetic loser. And she said, "Do you think your mother or your grandmother ever felt like a pathetic loser?" And I was like, "No,"
Mm,
because they were
mm,
just so like not me. Like um, my mother, especially, like just those, like I just couldn't imagine them feeling that way. Like I knew
mm,
that they carried shame, but I didn't think that flavor specifically. And but as I sat here and I thought about it, and I was like, actually, I'm guessing that I know that there were situations that happened, especially for my mom and my grandmother when they were in their late teens and early 20s, when things didn't go the way they wanted them to go.
mm-hmm.
And they experienced failure, right? And probably maybe they wouldn't have used the words pathetic loser, but I'm
Yeah,
like, in that moment, that's probably how they felt.
yeah,
And I sat here, I was like, oh my God, it didn't start with me.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, it's not mine. And that night, I went to bed and I didn't feel well. And I didn't like fall asleep, but I just laid there and laid there and later. And I was like, I'm going to be sick.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And I got up and I went into the bathroom and both ends.
That's always such a delightful experience.
And
Yeah,
I'm laying there on the bathroom floor and I was like shocked because I didn't feel sick anymore. And I was
yeah.
like, all right, this isn't a bug and I don't think I'm going to get sick again. But I laid there and I just closed my eyes and I had this vision in my head of women standing in a line, and the first woman has a box, and in the box is like I don't remember, but like, let's just say
Hmm.
it had yellow paper and a green bow. And she takes the box and she hands it to the next woman. And that woman takes the box and she like tucks it in, and like, and then she's living her life and she takes it out and then hands it. It's like wrapped
Yeah.
differently, right?
Mm.
Like now maybe it's pink paper with a purple bow or whatever. But inside is the same shit,
The same thing.
right? And it
Yes.
just keeps getting passed down and we just take it. Yep, okay. Yep, take it. Now it's yours. And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to put it in the box. I'm going to literally put it in a box and I'm going to put it down."
Yeah. Yeah. Do the work to not carry it so damn much.
Yeah. And like instead of, because I used to think, oh, I'm gonna flush it down the toilet, I'm gonna burn it, I'm gonna cut it up, I'm
Rip
gonna
it up and it's
this.
gone.
And I
Doesn't work that way.
very intentional. It's very intentional because people would be like, well, why do you want to be reminded of that?
Mm.
But it's part of who I am,
Yeah.
and I don't want to reject any parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Rejecting parts. I used to reject the parts of me that came from my dad.
Mm,
But it's like, but I also have his humor. I have some of his intelligence. And so if I reject him, I'm rejecting parts of myself, and that doesn't feel good.
right?
Yeah. Well, and I think of, going to that vision, I think of a world of people. I think about this with healing, right? Because, I talk about my 10-year healing who I am, childhood stuff. And I got to that realization of like, I don't think I'll ever be healed. I'm always going to have this wounded, inner kiddo. She's able to come out and play now, right? Hence all my pink and delightful items on my desk, right? But sometimes her feelings still get really hurt. Sometimes she still wonders, the 12-year-old inside. It's like she still wonders, like, do I belong? Where do I fit in? Why doesn't this person like me, right? And not making it mean anything good, bad, right, or wrong. But it's much like you're talking with shame. It's like noticing when she's coming up. And it's funny, we just got done talking about this on the brain trust call that we had in the deep end. But noticing, because now you can choose to be intentional, right?
Right.
What does the 12-year-old in me that is feeling tender, what does she need to be reminded of, right? And then how do I give that to her? How do I, because it'll be, I'm such a pathetic loser. That I have that one come up, you know?
It's coming. It came up. It came up for me earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah. It came up for me on Tuesday. I was very frustrated at work and I showed my frustration. And I'm like, they must think I'm such a pathetic loser that I couldn't control my frustration. I was like, no, people get frustrated. That's human, right? But again, I go back to this vision of a world full of people, especially women, who, we get to carry a lot more of the shame, the wounds, what have you. Uh, but a world full of women who don't stuff that down
Hmm.
and ignore it and let it run in the background.
Yeah, and being able to say and even laugh sometimes.
Well, and this is
And I
my
don't know.
awkward.
Yeah.
This is my awkward story. Is I was at some event. I don't even know where, and we're at a table and we introduce ourselves. I say, I have a podcast, and you were on the first podcast going there, or were you on the second iteration? I don't remember, but um, I shared like, well, we talk about healing and stuff, and when we make it funny, and it was like everyone looked at me. I'm like, okay, that didn't come out of my mouth right. They
No,
didn't get
I
it.
do the same thing too. I'm like, let's make shame fun.
Yeah, like you can have fun while you're healing your shit, you know? Isn't it? It's like tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Oh, I've never heard that before,
Yeah,
but yeah.
tragedy plus time equals comedy. And it's like, yeah, you can either make it this cumbersome, dread, doom, but why? Make it approachable.
Yeah.
How, you know? laugh at life's fucked upness of whatever happened, and then like go heal your shit.
Yeah.
Go work on your shame. I know you have a membership. Do you feel like the people in the membership like are vibing with where you're at with shame? I mean, I would think so since they opted in to work with you and be
Yeah,
together.
yeah. I mean, it's a mixed bag of people. I mean, it's
Yeah.
most people who come to work with me are because of their moms, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm more well known for. I don't think anybody's like come to me like out of the blue, like, oh, here's a shame person, let me work with
Mm.
her.
Hmm.
Um, but yes, and sometimes here we go. I do, we do weekly calls at sort of different times, different days, whatever. And every time, pretty much every time I do a call beforehand, I'm always like, oh God, this is going to be awful.
Mm.
It's like,
Hmm.
um, I'm going to screw it up. Everyone's going to quit. Like they're
Yep.
going to, it's like, yeah, I mean, that kind
Oh,
of
I do know.
every single time.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it's like, oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you
Yeah.
sure? And I know, and it's funny too because I've actually read something fairly recently or saw a video or something about how people who do what we do, coaching,
Hmm.
that kind of
Hmm.
thing, right? That like it should never be about us. It should never be like we
Hmm.
should, our own neediness, our own shame, our own desires for
Yeah.
validation. Am I okay?
Was that good?
Was I,
Yeah.
and that still lives within me. And it's like, I have to make peace with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel you. I've been running the Unruly Collective. It'll be a year in August so it started August of 25. Man, did I have to do a lot of work with that. If I hold a party, will people come? You know? And going into some of the calls, I'm like, no one's going to show up. And then we have like the richest, juiciest,
Yes.
deepest, heart-filling, soul-filling conversations. And I've heard, I left that. I felt like I came in feeling defeated. I left feeling resourced. And it's like, how do you put words to what that is, right? It's hard to market to feelings.
It is.
It's hard to market to feelings.
And it's like a relatively new concept.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a feeling is not a new concept.
No, right.
But
Yeah.
like leaning in and being aware of and enjoying and
Yeah.
exploring and being willing and like all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I come from a 3+ decade corporate career where, we talk about definition of success all the time and it's numbers based and da da da. I don't connect with numbers. I connect with impact. I connect with how do I feel about the work I'm doing, the life I'm living. That is my definition of success. And I can't put that into words. It's like, do I get to the end of my days, my weeks, my months, my years? And I'm like, yeah, I'm making a difference. Yeah, I'm jazzed by my life. I almost said jazzed. I'm jazzed by my life, right? And it's hard. You can't quantify that. You
No.
have to feel it,
But I
right?
also like it's funny just hearing you, I'm realizing like that this is evolution.
Yeah.
Humans evolving away from and like are we on a leading edge or whatever, I don't know, but like away from um domination,
Yeah.
control, like success, number,
Yeah.
like all of that, and that's important. I'm not saying not
Yeah.
domination and control, but like
Both,
yeah, but
both
like
can exist.
yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say, I just lost my train of thought.
No, I think of the work that we do, it's paradigm shifting. The
Yeah.
paradigm that we've been living under for however long, it's clearly not working. Or it's working as it was designed, and it wasn't designed with us in mind, right? Our satisfaction, fulfillment. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
It's so funny though, because I also like I've said this before, it's like there's so many things like we could talk about AI, for example,
Yeah.
as being like so freaking amazing
Hmm.
and awful,
And awful.
right? Like
Absolutely.
and like all the things that we, here we are sitting in our homes, comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
climate controlled,
Yeah.
right? Comfort, everything. On a computer, I'm like in Connecticut and you're in Minnesota, and we're talking to each other live, and other people are watching us. And
Yeah.
what? That's like
What?
crazy.
So cool. You just saw my husband walk by because I forgot to shut my door. I'll have to let him
And
know he made an appearance. I'll have to,
and
hopefully he doesn't come out naked.
like the impact of this on the world is good, I guess, but like the
Mhm.
technology and all the
Yeah.
extraction and the bad things that happened as a result of us now being able to do this.
Do
Does that make
that.
sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's we've had this conversation or flavors of it in the Unruly Collective. And you've been a part of those too, of like there's both we can see all the possibility and the good outcomes and all of that. And also we're participating, we're actively participating in the environmental issues. And it's like where for each individual, like you have to draw your own lines,
Yeah.
right? Like I have decided not to do the fun AI images, that will be like trending. I did the Muppet one, and I maybe did one or two. Oh, and the Christmas one. But hearing how much that takes, and yeah, it's fun. People get to have their fun. But for me, I decided right now I'm not going to do that.
Hmm.
I'm going to use AI to help with streamline my systems and my processes and what have you. But there's no like I'm not going to look at someone else and be like you shouldn't do that. There's enough people out there saying it, but I had to draw that line for myself. But there's other lines that someone else, like I sometimes get stuff from Amazon. But I try not to shop at Target right now, right? But it's like, is there really a difference between the two? Probably not, but that's a line for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
it's a struggle, right? To have to think about these things.
getting back to the idea of negative and positive, good, bad, right, wrong, like right,
Yeah.
and those binaries that we seem to love as humans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the idea of feelings and why they're so important, and right is and like what and this feels like feelings 101, but um we want to feel good, not bad. And
Mm-hmm.
so we won't pay we don't pay attention to it, we squash it, we ignore it, whatever, we
Yep.
do whatever we can to get rid of it. um but I think you can't have one without the other. I know you
Yeah.
can't have one without the
Right.
other.
Right.
And so that is like the paradox of the world, right? That like,
Mm-hmm. Well, and I see so many people chasing the binary.
yeah,
Like it has to be this, it has to be this. And like you said, it simply cannot be true. And how do we get other people realizing that so that we're working here and not fighting about the binary? Because it's just so unproductive.
yeah, and I guess we're working it out.
Yeah, yeah. Being human is messy.
It takes thousands and millions of years.
Yeah. I love what you said, it's feelings 101, but I almost think we have to go back to the basics. We're trying, we're overcomplicating, we're overthinking, we're, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how about you just allow yourself to feel your feelings? Like, start there, right? And people, like you said, they're so, because it can hurt. And we don't want to feel hurt.
And I think this is where shame comes in, because we think of
Mm-hmm.
shame as being a feeling, and it is,
Mm-hmm.
but it's way more than that. The way I look at shame is that it's part evolutionary.
Okay.
At one time, when we lived in caves and small groups and tribes and whatever, right? Um, this is like theory.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a
You're not
fact,
an expert in the science behind this.
but I feel it in my gut
Yeah.
that at one time, shame served a purpose that served evolution, and that was that if you are um, if you are in some way um, exposing our group to harm, you need to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't belong
Just
here anymore.
yeah.
Goodbye. Right? Because, right, and again, I don't understand enough about the science part of evolution, but that, at one time there was just little amoebas or whatever, and now we have full on human beings, right? It
Mm-hmm.
evolved from this little nothing to something very complex. And so maybe at one time, right, in order to become whatever, like more human or more complex, uh,
Mm-hmm.
we had to kill off what didn't serve that
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah.
And I even feel weird saying that because it's kind of gross in a way. I don't know. Anyway, but let's put it this way: that's what happened, right or wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so humans needed a way to be able to make sure that humans were going to keep evolving.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so if you're doing something that's threatening that,
Mm-hmm.
you're out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the evolution piece.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then there's the physiological aspect of like the literal feeling, but it's also posture and behavior, um, that our bodies experience sensations in them when we're having shame.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm guess most people, I think it's similar, but for me, it's hot face, it's
Mm.
feeling like I want to crumple in, it's shallow breathing, it's wanting to hide.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a collapse kind of
Yeah.
situation
It's self-protection.
yeah,
And it's yeah, I feel as you're going through all of those, like I'm feeling that and how I have felt in a moment where I'm feeling shame.
yeah. And so there's the evolution, there's the physiology, and then there's the nervous system adaptation of children, which is right, we're born into our family,
Hmm.
and nervous system wise, we are monitoring, right? Even as infants, we're
Yeah,
nervous system is
scanning,
scanning and
monitoring.
monitoring, and like it's not okay if I do this, it's okay if I do this. And so, synapses are firing and neurons are wiring
Hmm.
and getting snipped off and all this other things, right? And so, and that's normal and natural for that to happen. And the problem that ends up happening for a lot of us is that in moments of stress, trauma, even if it's not that significant, the child's instinct or is to, they believe that they see themselves as the center of the
Yep.
universe. And so anything bad that's happening must be my fault.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
Right? And that's done on purpose because it's safer for it to be our fault than it is for
Right.
people who are in charge, our
Yeah, the
parents.
people who are there to protect us.
If
Yeah.
it's them, if it's me,
Mm.
it's safer.
Hmm.
And the problem is that for many of us at my age, right, older people, and younger, not just,
Old ladies.
but is that nobody ever told us or
Yeah.
disabused us of the idea that it isn't us.
Yeah.
So slowly over time, those stories come in, right? Something happens, we make it mean something. It's safe for me to think that I'm bad or that I'm the selfish one or the pathetic one
Hmm.
or the
Hmm.
burden or the whatever, right? It's safer for me
Yeah.
to feel that way
Yeah.
than it is for, and so, and as I said, if nobody ever corrects that,
Hmm.
which they tend not to.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
not
Because we don't
because they
talk
were
about
like,
this
oh, I
stuff.
want her to feel, in
Yeah.
some cases it's that way, but like, and so then it's installed, and that's the internalization,
Right.
right? And
Right.
now this is just who I am. It's not even
Hmm.
like I don't even realize that it's a thought,
Mm. Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Or
it's
that my
that
physiology
acceptance.
is reacting to something. It's inherently me,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that's why
Yeah.
it's so insidious.
And I love that word insidious because it's like, this isn't a problem. This is insidious. Like it is so ingrained in in everything, brain, nervous system, like muscles, like all of it, right? And
Yep.
I think I want to go back to when you said shame, working on shame can be fun. I would love to give listeners a couple of examples of that. Because for someone listening in who's like, what the heck? Like let's make it real and approachable for them. Like what do you give like from you? What do you do? And I can share like, my fun with healing.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we've heard from experts, right, that vulnerability, being connected, sharing our stories with others in a safe place, right, that is healing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that is relate,
Absolutely.
like we when we allow ourselves to be witnessed, and when it's safe to be witnessed, right, and to be able to say to somebody out loud, you know what, I have this thing in my head that tells me I'm a pathetic loser, and just being able to, and then going, oh yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that me too is very powerful to hear that.
And um I guess I guess the way I'm thinking of it being fun is that once we once we can put it in a box and
Mm-hmm.
realize that it was never mine to begin with, it can be like, oh, there it is. There's,
Oh,
like, that
yeah.
song, whoop, there it is.
Oop, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
like one way I have fun. Like, I'll be, I've told the story about the rice cooker. Um, a few years ago, I bought a rice cooker and I was making rice in it. And I found that every time I made rice in the rice cooker, there was too much water at the end. Like
Okay.
it clicked off and there
It
would
was
still be
like
water in there.
soupy rice mixture.
Yeah. And I'm like, right.
Mm.
So the next time I decided to put less water in and it burned.
Okay.
So I think I'm telling the story backwards actually, because it was
You burned
actually,
it, then you put too much water in
yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so that second time when I put too much water in it and it was still too much water, I turned it back on, cooked it longer, and then it seemed fine. But I
Yeah.
remember saying to my husband, the rice might be mushy. And I said, because blah, 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 I've been having these problems. Da, 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 da. He's like, well, why didn't you just drain the water?
I
And
would
now my
love that.
husband is not a shamer.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great relationship. Um, he's not like, that's never an issue. Let me put it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
We don't have fights like that.
Yeah.
Um, but in that moment, it was a whoops, there it is moment,
Yeah.
because that's the nature of triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, his why didn't you just drain the water came through my you're a stupid idiot.
Yep.
Okay, that's another one. Shame story. Who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know any better? Pathetic. You should have known better, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the filter. The I call it sometimes my shame goggles, right?
Yeah.
Was coming through that filter, and I got ready to jump down his throat. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I started to snap. I was like, the whole, like my whole body,
Mm-hmm.
everything. Which also, just from an interesting perspective, it's safe for me to get angry at him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's safe for him to be angry at me.
Yep.
So in that moment, the fun part was catching myself and going, oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's not how I want to react.
like, oh, you don't think I'm a pathetic loser? That was me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? He was just asking me a question. And
Yeah.
then I laughed. And then it was like, it was so, um, like revelatory and funny and healing and like all the things like all at once. And I was laughing and it was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, because you caught yourself so that you could have a different reaction than what your, not like your self-protection was trying to do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you were able to laugh about it. I was
Right.
just
And
like,
that's how, and I guess, I am big on storytelling because
mm-hmm,
and I even catch myself as we're having this conversation. I have said a couple times like, "Oh, I have a story," or "I've told this
mm-hmm,
story before."
mm-hmm,
I actually do still carry a tiny bit of shame around. You've told that story a million times. People are bored.
mm,
But what I also know is that every time I tell those stories, I'm reminding myself of who I want to be
right.
and,
Identity. Yeah.
and who I already am.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm still aspiring.
Yeah. Yeah. This is who you are.
This is who
You
I
are the
am
woman who catches those moments,
most of the
right?
time.
Most of the time. Yeah, because we're human beings. You know, I've done so much work too, like you have, and I have up on my bathroom mirror a note to myself that says, I am so proud of, or gosh, it's been there a couple of years. It's something about how proud of how far I've come and imagine what is possible from here. But it's just, it's a couple of days I get that reminder of like, yeah, I've come really far. Um,
And being able to tell stories, the shame ones, the ones
mhm.
where we were like in the weeds and wanted to like crawl into a hole and
Yeah.
die, um, those stories are equally as important. And I think a lot of times we're taught, especially to, just be positive and, don't drag yourself through the old mud or,
Yeah.
whatever. Don't
Yeah.
revisit those stories. But in my book that I wrote in 2023, that came out in 2023, the whole first section is full of stories, and it's painful to read. It was painful to write.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Um, my shame stories, and they
Mm-hmm.
they start from very, very young, like
Mm-hmm.
almost pre-verbal, pre-memory, all the way up until 2023. Like I
Yeah.
had to stop writing the book at a certain point. I'm like, I can't, but
Yeah.
my point
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that there were stories like all the way up to it's not just, oh, in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I still have shame. I have shame stories to this day.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and I have my what I call my intentional identity stories as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
You have a
they're
framework
both
around that, don't you?
important. Yes, yes. But
Yeah.
they're both important is my point.
Absolutely.
Right? It's
Yeah.
not about like, oh, just sweep those ones under the rug. Those don't. It's important for me to. It's like I think what you said. We're remembering where we came from,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we still exist in.
Yeah, I always say like the path we've taken is not for the faint of heart. And I think of the privilege I have, that I have resources to help me, that I
Same,
have a safe home to be in, that I
same,
have a very loving, supportive partner
same,
who can hold me and not use it against me if I do slip into,
same.
a reaction that I didn't want to have, but in the moment I couldn't control it, right?
And early on, we'll be married 30 years next year,
Mm, we're coming up on
and
25.
early on, I didn't know any of this. Like,
Yeah.
I had no clue, and I like in hindsight, and it's like in the book, in hindsight, I'm like, oh yeah, that was all those times, things with my stepkids, other
Hmm.
things where I'm like, oh, that was shame.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
running the show that at that point. And I didn't even realize it.
Hmm.
And the fact that like, ew, this is like I feel a little saying this,
Mm.
but like, I received a lot of grace.
Yeah. Well, and I think, that's something that I try to remind folks in the collective. And again, it's part for me to hear too, is giving yourself grace. I have 5.5 decades of carrying the stories I've carried, right? The things that have happened to me, the things that have been said to me, whether it's my mom, my dad, like a boss that I hated, like that's all in there. So give yourself grace and think about all the decades you've carried something, and it's not going to unwind and heal and untangle.
The other
you know? Yeah.
piece that I like, another analogy that I love, and again, forgive the if it's not completely scientifically accurate, but just like I see shame as this evolutionary thing, right?
Hmm.
And um, in the human body, we have an appendix.
Hmm.
And at one time, an appendix served a purpose that it no
Ah,
longer serves.
yep.
Now, we still have appendixes, or appendices, whatever it is. We still need it, I guess, or it still can serve a purpose for us, but it's not the same.
Hmm.
Like when we ate tree bark or whatever, right? The appendix, right? And we don't eat tree bark, or maybe we do. Some
I
people.
mean, yeah, some people might, but yeah.
But unlike our appendix, right? So an appendix can make us sick. We
Hmm.
can remove it and it's fine. We can live without it. No big deal. I see shame similarly. And
Mm.
I think eventually, maybe, as I don't know how much longer humans are going to exist,
Yeah.
hopefully a long time.
Hopefully a long
But
time.
maybe at some point it'll become like we won't even have an appendix. It's what's called a
Mm.
vestigial organ. And I
Hmm.
kind of like hope for the same thing with shame.
Mm.
But the difference is, right, with an appendix that makes us sick, it can be surgically removed.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
unfortunately,
Mm.
when shame makes us sick, we cannot remove it.
Yeah.
And so then my whole thing has been, okay, if I can't remove this, if I can't get rid of it, then what am I going to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So it
that's
goes to awareness.
all the thing. That's why I do what I do.
Yeah. But it goes to awareness. And once you know, you're in choice, right? Do you follow the path of letting it run the show? Do you follow the path of going in and working on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that literally, when we say like, you got to do the work, like it is as simple and as hard as that. So, as we wind down, what you have written a couple of books. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. My favorite is your,
Your
let me think.
darling.
I think I have it here somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I would have had it out. I can't find it. Oh well.
Okay.
It's called You Are Not Your Mother, Releasing Generational Trauma and Shame. And you know what? You are like your mother. And the way you're not like your mother
Yeah.
is that you have chosen to pay
Mm,
attention to this and do
yeah.
something about it.
I
But
love it.
that is my favorite book. And that's
Yeah.
my most recent book. It came out in 2023.
We will have your links in the show notes so people can come find you. That's how I found you was a complex, coming from a complex relationship with my mom. And all of a sudden, your name popped up in some of the online circles I was in about this book about difficult
Difficult
mothers,
Mothers, Adult Daughters,
adult. Yeah, yeah.
a guide for
And I was like,
separation, liberation, and inspiration.
And I was like, what? This couldn't happen? And it did for me, right? But I've told you this story before, is that when we connected on Facebook, I was just like fangirling, like, oh my God, Karen, friended me. She might know who I am, blah, blah, blah. And here we are all these years later. I mean, it's literally been years, right? But we
Very
both, yeah,
thunder.
you have a storm. We both are running, collective, like communities, right, to
Yeah.
help with these sorts of things. And I think it's because you and I'll speak for myself. I have this ability that I don't carry shame around my stories. I carry shame in other ways. I don't carry shame around what I went through, right, in
Mhm.
childhood. Oh, and I was going to share, I wish I had the art, but this weekend I was at an art fair and this woman is doing pejorative boxes, and each one has a theme. And it caught my eye because it said slut, whore, hussy, bimbo. And those are things that people tried to shame me all throughout my teenage years, right? In lots of different ways. And so I bought that piece of art. I spent more than I really wanted to, but I'm like, I have to have this. I put it up front and center in the living room. I don't care if my mother-in-law comes over and clutches her pearls. Like, I've taken, I take those words back. I take those back. And that is part of the work. Is like,
It is.
what are the things that have brought you shame, and how do you just go ahead?
I was just going to say the word that I use, and I haven't used it, I'm surprised, is unshame.
Unshame.
Rather than get rid of shame, which
Oh
again,
yeah.
like, well, what does unshame
Yeah,
mean?
what does it mean?
But I mean, to me, it just means that I have a different relationship to it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was going to say this before when we were talking about emotions, is that I think a lot of us tend to be ashamed of our
Mm.
feelings
Mm-hmm.
and our stress responses.
Yeah, our responses to that.
And I think being able to unshame when we are triggered is
Mm-hmm.
huge.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
the number one reason I do the work for myself and for others, is because
Yeah.
when we can see our bodies responses as intelligent and wise, not
Mm-hmm.
shameful,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that is so powerful.
Well, and I go back to imagine a world full of men and women and all,
Exactly.
all the whole entire spectrum, but I think specifically of women. Imagine a world of women who have done that work and what becomes possible for the collective society.
But I mean, even more than that, men.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're
I
already
tend
doing
to.
it. I mean, not,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. All right, final question.
sure.
What do you get to have the rest of your life, Karen, because you have done the work to unshame and talk about it?
Freedom,
Freedom. Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah. Because human in life,
Yeah,
right?
and I guess freedom to be silly.
Yeah, because you have your
Freedom to
silent
be a
disco.
goofball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You do your silent disco, and we are at time here. I want to be cognizant of that. But you are a really super cool human, and the depth and humor and delight and silliness that you bring to everything is just, I don't know. You know, I respect the hell out of you.
Well, feeling is mutual.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm glad that you exist in the world and I get to exist and be in community with you. But freedom, I wanna sit on that for a moment because I used to chase freedom and I had this notion that freedom meant I can travel anywhere I want in the world. I can live my life however I want. That's great. But when I healed so much of my stuff, I'm like, oh, that's freedom.
Hmm.
That is freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like, I could care less about traveling at this
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah. But I had this
Um,
notion, kind of like definition of success. I had this definition
yeah.
of freedom that wasn't actually what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not to go off on a big tangent, I just want to say really quickly,
yeah,
though, that part of unshaming is being able to identify those values
absolutely, absolutely.
and your definition of them.
Bingo. Yeah, and we talk a lot about that in the collective too. It's like when you say this word, what is your definition? Because I guarantee everyone on this call has a different definition, and that matters for your ability to
Mhm.
show up in intention and awareness is your definition. Yes. So we're
Amen.
going to end on that note. Like I said, we are going to have all of your links in the show notes. And just thank you so much,
Oh,
Karen,
thank you.
for going there with me once again and being
Anytime.
a member of Unruly.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.